Good morning, Jigs and Bigs fam. How you guys doing? It is a Wednesday morning here, and after a day of our last episode being put out, we got some really steep increase in numbers as far as listens. So really glad that you guys have been checking some stuff out. I don't know if it's because it's the winter and the fishing slowed down a little bit. People are boning up on tips and tricks. We talked this episode about some goals, setting goals, and some of the goals that we have specifically. And we talked a little bit about some listener goals. So it was a really a solid episode all around. But the real reason I came in here, besides to thank everybody for listening to this thing and really kind of blowing me away this early in 2021, I want to jump in and share a little story. I make no bones about the fact I work in the bar and restaurant industry. I go and I host trivia nights at restaurants all over the place, and with COVID, it's been a different sort of experience. It's definitely not the same. I've had to make some adjustments to maintain social distancing and things like that. Anyway, I work relatively late, and then we have a new puppy here, and when I get home, I stay up relatively late to hang out with her and make sure she gets that last outing to do her business before we put her to bed for the night. So I sleep in a little bit later than anybody else in my family, and I wake up and my wife is calling me, and we're having our morning check-in as she's on her way to her first appointment, and we're having this conversation. And she's telling me about a local coffee roaster in our area. And I'm going to give them a shout out because I love them. I think they're great. Monsoon Coffee. They put out a great product. It's fantastic. And a couple weeks ago, there was a Facebook post that they put out saying that they were changing, that there was something up about their packaging. They basically led us to say that this would be the last bag of coffee we would see from them. And we didn't know if that meant that they were closing, maybe they were being bought out, something like that. And I said to my wife, I have a feeling something's changing with their packaging. Anyway, they did change their packaging, and what they did was they shifted over to these aluminum cans that they use for cold brew coffee when you buy pre-made cold brew from them. And all they're doing is they're taking their whole beans and they're using the cans in there because the cold brew is taken off so much. Instead of buying two different types of packaging, they just save by buying this one type of packaging and do it all. So my wife says to me, and I love her, Mrs. Roast Beef is amazing. But my wife says to me this morning, she says, I think it's a great idea to, use just one single thing of packaging. I think if it'll save them some money from having to carry multiple things. You're hearing the toaster right now. I'm making my breakfast as I record this. She says if it can save them some money, I'm all for it. But she goes, I wonder if we'll be able to get our little coffee scoop into that can to pick up the beans. And I said to her, keep in mind, I had just woken up. I said to her, honey, I don't think that'll be a problem. We can just pour the coffee into the canister we've always poured our coffee into, even when it was in the bags. And she had this moment where there was silence. And then, oh yeah. I think my wife and I need to have a little early discussion about maintaining our mental awareness as we get older, because I think it's starting to happen. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for everything. You've been really awesome. I'm really excited about this podcast, obviously, and the growth that we've had. I hope you guys are having yourself a great week. We've got more great stuff coming up. Big announcement coming. We're hoping to be able to fire away after this weekend. So, if you're a fan of Jigs and Bigs, keep your fingers crossed for us this weekend. We're hoping that great things are in the near future. Have a great one, everybody. Tight lines.